Hey everybody, welcome to Cooking with RISC-V. This is a much lower quality stream than you're probably used to from me, and I apologize for that, but welcome to my workbench. Today my game plan is to get this SpaceMIT K3 unboxed, set up, do some testing on it, see if we can figure out what the PCI-express situation is like. See if we can get a graphics card to work. Probably not. If it requires recompiling kernel, that's probably where I'm going to call it. But we can at least get some ideas about the information. So might as well get started. So, my camera is not updating. Hang on. If I turn that off and turn it back on, does that reset it? No. One moment. This is what I get for unplugging and replugging things. It's entirely my fault, and it's fine. I'm going to bump back over here. Give me 1 second. At least I think I'm going to do that. Maybe I'm not going to do that. Okay, let's try this again. I'm betting this means that like everything's going to stop working, which is just great. That should be fine. And then this should be, if I do that and then do that. There we go. I fixed it. All right. Let me make sure that I've done the right thing over here as well, because we're going to want that later. Awesome. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what's going on. So my workbench, the two black boxes that you see beneath me, one of them is going to be for the serial console that I'm not quite yet using, and the other one's going to be for the HDMI capture. But in the meantime, we can get started. So I haven't even taken this out of the box yet. As you can see, I just opened the box. That's all I did. It's still got its shrink wrap on it, which is fine. Let me grab my fancy kniff here, and we'll open up the plastic wrap and get started. So this is a CoM260 board. The current generation of the SpaceTime K3 systems come in two variants from SpaceTime. There's the CoM260 version, and there is the Pico ITX version. I just ordered another Pico ITX version. I have a couple en route, but I have hopefully that one will show up sooner rather than later. Where is the? There's the way to open the box. But this is the CoM260. So, yay, it comes with a nice little card. Does this come in English? It does not. Okay, that's fine. I know what I'm doing, so it's probably fine. So this, various bits and pieces of information, some QR codes, great, lovely. Don't really care at the moment. I've used one of these before, so I know what I'm in for. We got some foam. And then we've got the actual board itself. I don't think there's any accessories in this box. Oh, I lied. There is. Oh, they gave me a serial cable. That's awesome. And a screwdriver. All right. Well, that's cool. I don't have to go try and dig out a serial cable. But I think that's it. That does appear to be it. Okay, great. I wasn't expecting the serial cable, so I'm kind of surprised that we even have that. The last one I used of one of these was the DVT variant. Which is the design verification test variant. So what that means is this might have some slightly different things to what I am expecting, but we'll find out together. All right. Open up the bag. Oh, it's got a Wi-Fi module in it. Neat. So that's the system. So this looks are somewhat deceiving. This looks like it is a Jetson Nano system. It is not a Jetson Nano system. It's the same design of the board, but they are not pin compatible with each other. So you can't drop this into an existing Jetson Nano. But what we do have back here is there is some kind of Wi-Fi module, which is fascinating. We've got another small M.2 device here. I think I have a small SSD that I can drop in, which is good. And then we've got a standard 2280, which I'm going to plug in this GPU that you can barely see that's sitting on my my oculink dock for it. It does have DisplayPort. It can be powered over USB-C or via this 12-volt connector. I'm going to use the 12-volt connector today. I have a bench power supply here, so I can get an idea of what the power utilization looks like. I do not know if this DisplayPort will support a basic adapter, but I have this fancy adapter that I bought from Club 3D that I know will work. It's called an active adapter, so it has the appropriate electronics in it to actually read the HDMI and spit out, read DisplayPort and spit out HDMI. I have that backwards. This cable here just goes to the keyboard and mouse that's here on the desk. Ethernet, obviously, for the network. Nothing too fancy. We got a big active heatsink on it, and we have this cable for the serial console. I need to figure out how I plug in the serial console. I am fairly certain it's plugging in on the standard pins on a the 40-pin like Raspberry Pi-like header, but I don't know for certain. So let's go fire up this page for this. SpaceMIT K3 CoM260 pinout. Of course, I'm searching this on Google on this machine, so it's going to be miserable, but I might be able to find it. Oh, nice. Banana Pi docs. I'll take it. Yep, that's the module. So this is a relatively low-end module. It's the 8 gig of RAM variant with 128 gigs of eMMC storage. For what I want to do, that is perfectly fine. Photo galleries, build routes. What I really want is like the oh, here's a schematic. So some of the Jetsons, oh yeah, it's got these pins here. So I think those are the ones that I'm going to want to use for the console. And I just got to remember which one goes where. Power button, ground, ECC. There's transmit and receive. So if I remember correctly, green goes on receive and white goes on transmit. Could be wrong. Only one way to find out. And then I need a ground, which is hiding somewhere. That's fine. Ground. If you're using this, do not plug the power into this. You don't need it. That's just for if you needed to power a board with it, if you're using like a microcontroller. But for our use case, just doing those two things will be enough. Here is the power supply. One of the things that I'm really interested in seeing on here, oh, it's the wrong one. That means I need to use this one. One of the things I'm really interested in seeing on here is that this is apparently this should be the updated version. And so because of that, it's supposed to draw less power. I don't know. We're about to find out. All right, so let me switch this over to, let's bring up TerraTerm and get that connected. Setup. No, new connection. I want a serial port. That one. And then I think I need to do some port setting things. Is it this one? One of the things I'm going to try and do in the future on one of these is see if I can get, that's what I'm looking for. Great. Okay, so we should have correct things there. Let's do HDMI focus. So this will bounce some things around a little bit, and that's fine. So you can see the board. There's not a whole lot to see with the board at the moment. And one of the things that I'm hoping to do in the future is music, maybe. I need to figure out all of the things with streaming. I am listening to music because I work better when I'm listening to music, but you all can't hear it. Obviously, the recordings will not have music because copyright reasons, but the live streams could be. I also have the chats up. Hello, Vixia. And yeah, let's see what happens. Maybe I have this plugged in correctly, maybe I don't. So, starting with apply power, lights come on, fan comes up. There's nothing coming out of the serial output, so I have that backwards. Let's turn that off and fix that. Step 1, plug it in correctly. So white is receive and green is transmit. Cool. Let me just look at that closely, make sure I got that. Looks like I got that in the right place. Let's try that again. Boop. I'm still not seeing any output. Why not? I don't know. We'll find out in a second. All right. So the next question becomes, are we going to get anything over HDMI? Because I'm not seeing anything over that, and I would expect to see something, but I'm not seeing anything. That makes me sad. It also could be a million other things in between the board and the streaming setup, so I'm not going to panic just yet. Maybe I did have it in the correct order the first time. I don't know. Let's turn it off and try again. Also, I've got a pure DisplayPort monitor right here. It's currently plugged into the GPU, but that's fine. And that way I can verify that this works. I have tested this HDMI adapter on other K3 systems, so it should function. But obviously I'm doing something wrong. Let me see if I can figure out what the console is. And this is the fun part, is that y'all get to just see me cook, which I'm told is what people want. But maybe you don't. And if you don't, I'm sorry. Debug bootloader reset. Is that the edge connector? I don't even know. K3 CoM260. User guide. That's the Pico ITX user guide. That doesn't help me. Let's see if there's any info over here. And I realize that you can't see my browser, and I apologize for that. All right, so system hardware, K3 CoM260 kit, perfect. This is all in Chinese, which is not surprising. I think there is a way for me to change that. Is that, nope, that is not the button I wanted. I think it's this button. Ah. What's that do? Nope. Oh, it's this one. Sweet. Okay. User guide. Yep. Okay. Integrated cooling fan, power, blah, 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 Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. M.2 not included. Block diagram, that's great. I2C address map. Button interface. Debug UART RxTX. So that tells me it's there. Is it possible that TerraTerm is just being dumb? Yes. Setup terminal. Do I have all this correctly with the right serial port? That certainly looks like it's the right thing. All right. So this says there's 2 pins and then there's D2 pins. So maybe I just have it backwards. I don't know. Maybe I have the ground wrong. Back to where we had it before, because I thought green goes in that pin. And then skip, ground. Yep, okay. So that's all what I want, where I want it. One of the things that I'm kind of excited about is that at the moment this is taking far less power than the previous version did. Oh, the monitor just lit up, so that's good. All right, Beyond Boo. I'm excited. Can I get a monitor adapter in here? Probably. So yeah, this is now up at the login screen, which I will get you video of in a moment. And it is pulling 0.7 amps. I think that is, so 9 watts. That's awesome. That is way lower than it was previously. So I am excited about that. So let's plug this back in over here and let's get a different thing here working. It's entirely possible that the problem is my capture card. I don't know yet. I had tested this before, but as we all know, testing is meaningless. That's on. Also, it comes up super fast. It makes me think that they might have changed the U-boot on it, but I don't know. All right, I would expect something to be happening on that. I'm getting nothing, which makes me unhappy. What if I swap some things around here? So the setup for this is, obviously I've got that adapter, and like I said, I've tested that adapter on other things, and it has worked, so I am expecting it to work here. What could be wrong is I could have bad cables just like everywhere. Like I said, I had tested this before, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Let me just go straight to this monitor via its HDMI cable. And again, you can't see this monitor, but that's okay. Baby steps. If I can get this to show up here, then we can go on to the next step. Okay, that is working. Okay, so that's good. So that probably means that this cable is bad, which is either that or this stupid HDMI splitter thing that I have is being dumb. Let's try rebooting that. I turn that off, turn this on, get a red light. I thought that light turned blue when it was working, but maybe not. Also could be a bad HDMI cable, don't know yet. No video there. If I now plug this back in, I swear I did test this before I started the stream, although I did test it like last week, so everything's just doing the usual thing of breaking because I left it alone for too long. For folks who are in the chats, if you have questions, feel free to ask. I've got the various chats up and around where I can see them, so I can answer questions if folks have them while I'm not dropping cables or other things. Goodness. Also, you know, this is the first stream, so I kind of figured it was going to be a little grumpy. All right. So nothing there. Let's try a different HDMI cable because I have some. As soon as I remember where I put them. Over here, you can't actually see it at the moment, but I have the new, this will be something for a future stream. I have the clusters set up, which I'm really, or the cluster built, not set up, just built for GPU testing on RISC-V. So one of the major problems that we're experiencing in the ecosystem right now is that the mainline kernels are not working if you have a GPU in your system. It doesn't matter what the chip is, and it's just because there's some sort of bug in between at least the AMD and the Nouveau drivers and the kernel. So I reached out to Sci-Fi, and they were kind enough to sponsor a couple of systems. I'm still looking for HDMI cables, so give me 1 second. I know I have some, I just need to find them. And they were kind enough to sponsor 2 machines. And I bought another one from one of the users here in Austin, which was great. And so we now have a machine that has one each, a AMD GPU, an NVIDIA GPU, and a Intel GPU. So they're not the best GPUs. The AMD one is going to be a RX 6600, which is actually pretty decent. The NVIDIA one is very old. It's a GTX 850, excuse me, no, it's a GTX 560. And you're probably going to be like, Carl, that is absolutely ancient. What are you doing? Well, it's the best supported card. It's one of the best supported cards in Nouveau. The chipset is well supported by that system, or by that driver set, which is kind of what I'm going for, because we're only going to be able to get Nouveau stuff working on RISC-V. I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything else up and running. Is this splitter box just this bad? I might have another splitter box in the other room if it is just the splitter box is being this bad. Come on, I believe in you. I swore I tested this though. It's also, I bought two of these splitter boxes. I had one on some of the GPU test rig, and that was giving me problems as well. So let's just say that this is bad and grab a different splitter, which is not here. I am going to mute myself, and I'll be right back. Okay. A couple known good cables, a known good splitter. I've used these in video production previously, and they work great. They also strip HDCP. Shh, don't tell anybody. Not that it matters, we're running Linux, nothing has HDCP. All right. Let's get this plugged in and swapped out, and hopefully this will just solve the problem, is my hope. Actually, you know what? You're dead to me, stupid cable. Put this one in. Glad this is going off to such a great start. All right. Let's try this cable for input because it's much easier to work with anyways. And then we'll do monitor in output 1 because that should pass through EDID, and then capture card on output 2 because it'll just pick up the EDID from the monitor, and then attach cable. See what happens. I got lights. Is the monitor going to wake up? I believe in you, monitor. Come on. It has woken up. Ha-ha! And you can see it on the stream. Incredible. Amazing what happens when you don't have a bad switcher in the way. So cool. Those were a complete waste of money. All right. So let me make one adjustment here, which is turn off TeraTerm, since that isn't providing us any useful information. And also I can shrink this because I don't think you all care. So let's get this set up. We want this to be in English, please. Okay, thanks, love you. I am not in Shanghai. I'm not in Nonagama. I'm not in Matamoros. I'm not in Monterey. I'm clicking too far south. Like, okay, Chicago? Austin? One of these? You don't understand Austin. You do understand Chicago. Chicago's good enough. It is a US keyboard. You are correct. It's me, Mario. Wow. Okay, so K3 CoM 8GB is what I want that to be, and the disposable password, because I don't care if you all see it. All right, that's good. Yes, you're gonna make changes. I don't really care. And then you're gonna reboot. I still don't care. All right, let's see what happens. So it's pulling about 9, 10 watts on startup. Just peaked to 12. Oh, 16, 17. It comes right back down. All right, so we're pulling about 10 and a half, 11. That's still way better than it was. I bet you I fumbled that. Did I fumble that? I did. I didn't fumble that. All right, so great. This is all very exciting. Let me see if I can make this like visible. I can. Good. I'm gonna bring this over here. Let's do some basic. What do we got? So it's an 8852BE. That's wild, but okay, I'll take it. We've got Ethernet interface is up and the Wi-Fi is down, which is fine. You can now dox me, which is great. Spoiler alert, everybody knows I live in Temple. Cool, so that's all doing what I expect. That's wonderful. I'm actually super curious if that 8852BE Wi-Fi card is supported by mainline. What the kernel config is. Well, let's start with what is the kernel. 6.18.3, so ancient, great. Lib, modules. There's some text on my window as I'm looking at the string. There we go. Yes, kernel, drivers. As expected, it's not going to have any GPU drivers in it, which is a bummer, but also kind of what I figured was going to happen. Okay, so let's make sure that we're up to date. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, this is a good thing that I want to show you all, which is, you'll notice this is pulling a bunch of stuff from archive.spacemint.com. You don't actually have to do that. Apt sources beyond Boo. So, oh, maybe, oh, they've completely changed it. So maybe we do. Oops. Yeah, I guess they've changed it. Okay, well, I'll have to figure that out later. Normally what I wind up doing is I set it up so that it pulls the Beyond Boo 4 stuff from, oh God, that's gonna be so painful. I normally set it up so it pulls the Beyond Boo 4 stuff from archive.spacemint.com because you need to. But the rest of Ubuntu Resolute, you can get from either archive.ubuntu.com or ports.ubuntu.com. So let's see if we can get that set up because that's going to just make life a hell of a lot easier. All right, let's see how bad it is. Yeah, I know. What do you got for me? Download side is 628 meg. All right, how slow is it? Oh, that's not so bad. What are we doing? We're probably doing about a meg. That's not terrible. I can deal with 7 to 9 minutes. And I'll figure out how to make that better later. I'll also see if I can get in touch with the folks at SpaceTime and see if we can do like a... actually, you make a good point. Let's go look at the kernel config. Gunzip proc config into less. So, Beyond Boo 5.20. Built with GCC 15.2, which isn't surprising. Yeah. So all of the things that I was kind of hoping for do very much. The legacy AMD vendor stuff is AMD. Excuse me, not vendor. The legacy AMD networking stuff is still in this kernel. It is not anymore. Yeah, so AMD GPU, Nouveau, Xe, all turned off. That's fine. I can live with that. The one thing I want to do is that once this is done updating, is I'm going to turn it off, flip it over, plug some stuff in, and see what's going on in terms of PCI-express, because that's one of the big things that I want to try and figure out. I've got a really tiny M.2 NVMe drive, and then I've also got my oculink adapter, which will talk to the GPU. So we'll do that here in a minute. But we might as well get these updates in place. The other thing that we can check is Arch Linux source. It's probably not going to let me do this while it's running the other thing. Oh, it is. Yeah, so this is what I was afraid of. They still don't have the kernel source code available as a package, at least. So, is there anything that you wanted to see specifically in the kernel config while I'm waiting for stuff to happen? Because otherwise, I'm just gonna hop along. I have no idea if they've published the source code for this yet. I don't think they have. Let's see here. SpaceMIT-Con. Okay. Oh, okay. So they have published the source code on GitHub, it looks like. Drivers. Hack AMD GPU PCIe Gen to Generation 3. Okay, well, I mean, there's a good chance that that's going to actually work then. But it looks like these are actually up to date. That was put in 3 weeks ago. For chat, here's where the kernel lives. I'll put it in both because I can do both. Woo! All right. Neat. How are we doing with this? Got another 3 minutes. I am probably not going to bring this down and do a compile on it because I imagine that's going to take like 45 minutes. I'll probably do it at the end of the stream. Kind of go from there. Yeah, all right. Another few minutes for that to finish loading. I will figure out and see if I can get the ports from Ubuntu to come over. That usually also brings newer packages. The primary stuff that's in the Beyondvu tree is going to be the vendor kernel and their version of Chromium, along with the horked up Mesa drivers, which may cause the AMD GPU to not work well, but we'll find out. I'm not particularly worried. Oh, now we're up to 35 minutes. Oh, it's because the files are tiny. Yeah, it's fine. It's probably lying about that. Yep, we're down to 2 minutes. Hooray for Trans-Pacific links and the Great Firewall. Okay. Correct, there are no snaps. I don't know what the status with that is. I should go reach out to my friends at Canonical and see what they say about that. I also know that for like some of this stuff, there are RISC-V specific patches that are needed specifically for Chromium. Firefox should build though, because like that builds out of Fedora, but Ubuntu being Ubuntu, they put their own patches into Chromium and into Firefox. So that's part of the reason why they're not available as the standard debs, and you have to get them through snaps. Well, this is exciting. All right, that's doing everything that I would expect it to. We're also going to throw BTOP on here, see if we can get some thermal sensor information out of it. I'm also disappointed that there's no output from the U-boot, or at least I haven't gotten any output from the U-boot yet. So it's possible that this serial adapter is bad. There's dozens of things that could be going on. It could also be pointing to other, it could be using the 40-pin Raspberry Pi header for the serial console. I don't know yet. I'll have to go figure that out a little bit later. Do I have one of those little... I don't think I have one easily available. I have a bunch of the Adafruit little things that you drop on that gives you a serial port. So I can give that a shot a little bit later. But for right now, this will be fine. Yep, new versions of GCC. So many updates. I didn't look to see if it was going to give a new kernel. We'll find out. Hopefully said kernel won't break anything. Yeah, in a second I want to get BTOP up on here and see if that is going to be able to appropriately read the system temperature. It usually does. It's a lot of icons. Okay. That's actually a good question while we're sitting here waiting. Oops. Big in this for stream legibility. What file system are we using? ext4 for boot. Where's the root file system? Oh, there it was. ext4. Okay, that explains why it's being a little slow. I'm not surprised. Like that's the default from Canonical. They do love their ext4. I don't. Yeah, I wasn't paying close enough attention, but honestly, we can scroll back and find out. Or at least I think we can. Oh yeah, here we go. All right. Is it going to bring in a new kernel? Linux base. It doesn't look like it. I don't think Linux base is the kernel. Might be under B. Beyond boot control, beyond boot minimal update front end. Line 9. No, doesn't look like it. Oh no, there is a new image. There's a Linux image 6.18.3 generic. So it's a rebuild of it, which probably means that it has some changes to it, but exactly what, I don't know yet. All right, well, we'll find out. It's still the vendor kernel, so that's all that's fine. Vendor kernel is gonna vendor kernel. So many locales. How exciting. Yeah, this is what I get for like staring at 3 different monitors at the same time. I missed that the first time. Apologies. How many languages did they turn on? Time. So looks good. More icons. Icons are the worst because they're just, it's so many tiny files. If you have a good file system that has a lot of great caching in it, it'll go faster, but this does not. ext4 is still ext4 after all. Okay, oh, new U-boot at that. Neat. Hate that it is updating all of this with DD. Like, that is just the worst. But whatever, it is what it is. The webcam on my laptop is very angry about the lighting here. I obviously need to get some additional lights in here. There's a light overhead behind me, but if I turn that on, it just makes everything worse. I have some studio lights that I can like put behind the computer. That would probably make it way better, but I just haven't done it yet. Room for improvement. The box is sitting right here, but I'm not going to try and set it up while I'm doing this. I've already made a mess. Why does it come with sane and scanner stuff? It's so weird. Let's look at the differences. What have they changed? Yeah, okay, we're going to take the vendor version. Wow, they made it more insecure by default. That's hilarious. YouTube downloader, of course. Honestly, it's probably needed for Chromium to work correctly. All right, building in init RAMFS. There's no crypto modules. Cool. Okay. almost done. There's a couple quick utilities that I want to throw on here. B-top, H-top, NV-top, TMUX, PicoCom, LRZ, CSC. Yep. Oh, H-top's already installed. How lovely. Suggested minicom. You can make that suggestion as long as you like. I'm going to ignore it. No disrespect to minicom, but I've moved on. All right, so B-top tells me that my terminal's too small. Okay. The width is too, okay, that's, all right, my bad. Boom, all right, hey, 53C, that's not bad. The cooler is not particularly warm, which is great. Plenty of memory. Like I said, this is only the 8 gig variant, so that's fine. All right, cool. So with that, let's shut this down and plug in a GPU. Again, I don't expect that kernel update might have drivers in it. I didn't go look, but I'm not expecting anything magical to happen. It's more I'm putting in the GPU just to see what the PCI-express stuff is going to look like in terms of lane configurations and whatnot. Okay, so I need some M.2 screws, and I need to take these stupid pieces of tape off. Great. I apologize that the camera is upside down for those of you on stream. I haven't figured out a good way of flipping that around yet. M.2 screws. I have an entire box of them. Neat. Those are not M.2 screws. This is the box of M.2 screws. All right. Perfect. Glad I had that sitting there. Is this the right screw for this? I don't know. Let's find out. No, I think it's these. It even came with a fancy little screwdriver, but I'm going to not use that and instead use my not sponsored iFixit screwdriver set. As soon as I can find the right bit. There's the one I'm looking for. Just because it's going to be easier to pick up these. Oh, these screws are not magnetic. Well, what else is new? Ugh. Are you the right threads? You are. That's exciting. All right, and then, so this GPU that you can barely see in the edge of the screen, it's a older GPU. It's an RX 580. Exciting. But this will work for the time being. All right, cool. Turn that on. Plug this in. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Well, that's not a good sign. What have I done wrong? That's on. What if I turn it off? There we go. Cool. That's something. Did this turn on? It did? Okay. All right, we've got something happening. Unfortunately, I don't have the serial console, so I can't see. The fan spun up and spun back down, though, so that's a good sign. Okay. HDMI output looks like it's coming up or has come up. Oh, all my USB crashed again. Hang on. Top down, deactivate, activate. That fixed that. There we go. All right, that's what I wanted. Oh, why am I not getting anything on here? okay. Some sort of grounding thing, but that's fine. Discord wants to switch audio devices. No. It sounds like everybody can still hear me, so that's good. Oh, I apparently disconnected and came back. Sweet. All right. Let's embiggen this and embiggen this even more. Okay, so SpaceMIT, hey look, it's an AMD graphics card. It is currently doing, that says AMD GPU. Did it load a module? Does the new driver? I didn't because it's not providing any output, but something's happening. Okay. 560D, yep, that's what I expect. This is not telling me I'm off by 1. Hang on. I think I only need the 2 verboses in order to get what I'm looking for. Oh, there we go. That's what I want to see. All right. AMD graphics card. Yep, that's what I want. Device capacity, capabilities, control, link by 8. Link control is downgraded to 5.4. Okay, so that means all 4 lanes are coming through the oculink interface into the AMD GPU. That's exciting. Let's jump down here to, that's the audio, which we don't care about. Different PCI-express root device. NVMe, so that's the Kioxia NVMe. That's the other small little SSD that I plugged in. That is saying that it supports by 4, and it is currently linked at by 1. Okay, so you get all 4 lanes on the 2280. That's good. We're only getting 1 lane on the other 2230. If we come down here to the root bridge, if we come down here to the Realtek Wi-Fi card, what is this doing? Link capabilities is by 1, and it's operating at by 1. Okay, so that's fine. Might have loaded the module of the PlayStation and might be preferring the primary GPU. Yeah, let's find out. AMD GPU is definitely loaded. To the kernel error messages. It's entirely possible that it's not going to like this GPU because it is too old. I know iSnowy and a couple other folks in the Discord were talking about how there were some issues with specific AMD GPU drivers. We've got a bunch of PCI bus stuff, DRM, blah, blah, blah. Even if it only supports the primary display on the GPU, it should still be coming up at this point because Wayland will understand both. That's all the built-in stuff. Oh, it's also possible, we'll find out here in a minute, it's also possible the firmware is not loaded, and that's why it's unhappy. Okay, AMD GPU, detected block number. Initial lesson critical setting for Polaris 11. Direct firmware load. Yep, that's the problem. There's no firmware. Okay. Apt. Actually, I don't. Screw it. Let's get all of them. Anything newer than GCN should work? Yeah, I think they said it was like GCN 2, which I think this card is, because it's a 580. It's a 580D, but it's a 580. The D it's a stripped down version that was sold in China. I have no idea why I have it, because I didn't buy it from China. Most of my older cards I've picked up through eBay, local U.S. sellers. So it was kind of wild to me that that one showed up the way it did. But I particularly like this card because I don't know if you can see it in the video. I'll pull it forward a little bit more. It has a PCIe power. Like this Minis Forum oculink dock does all of the things that I would want. So ITX power, not ITX, a SFX power supply. It provides a tremendous amount of power through the subsystem because it just comes through the ATX connector, and then you can plug in a PCIe for more. And so that's part of the reason why I put this on here. I have a RX 550 lying around, and by lying around I mean it's like right over here. I also have some older stuff, like I have I have an HD 7850, but I know that won't work because that's just the Radeon driver instead of the AMD GPU driver. I have a regular 550 instead of a 580. And somewhere I have the RX 550, but I don't know where off the top of my head at the moment. I can also pull the one out of the test bed if I need to. Did I put it over here? Oh yeah, I put it away. It's in the big box of GPUs in the other room, so it should be fine for now. Of course Qualcomm has the most firmware. Why shouldn't they? They've earned it. I don't think it's just going to load the firmware once the actual the firmware chunks load. It's possible, but I doubt it. So I'm probably going to need to reboot, which is fine. I'm actually curious while I'm here. Lib modules 618 kernel drivers GPU. Did they turn on all of them or just what else do we have? So we have AMD and Radeon. Okay, so not going to let me do any testing of stuff that I want to with like other cards, but fortunately at the moment this will do what I want. It's a good start at least, so that's fine. Ideally, I would also want to build with the Nouveau drivers and the Intel Z drivers, and I have cards for testing with that as well. Well, let's see what happens. Okay. Beyond Boost coming up. Oh, and the AMD card has also lit up. It's activated the monitor, the whole 9 yards. I don't have a way to capture that other monitor for you, unfortunately. This is fascinating. We're sitting here for a bit. That's new. It seems pretty unhappy. Okay. I can get a login prompt at least. I wonder if it's just like a the text is going to be really small. I'm sorry. AMD GPU. I'm going to search down for the driver stuff. So, let's see here. Kernel mode setting is enabled. Initialized kernel mode setting for Polaris. Didn't get any of the error messages about that. It found the blocks. It fetched the VBIOS for the ROM bar. Yep, that's all good. Trust your memory zone feature is not enabled. PCI atomic ops is not supported. GPU is posting now. Okay, what do we got down here? What we are saying is VM size is 64 gig, 2 levels, block size 10-bit, fragment size is 9-bit. Yep, that's all fine. So it detects the bars, it finds the bridges, that's great. 2 gig of VRAM, which is expected. The guard is 256 meg, also expected. All 2 gig of the VRAM is ready. GTT memory is significantly larger, which is weird, but okay. GART, number of CPU pages, blah, blah, blah. PCIe is 256 meg. Yeah, chained IB support is enabled. SMU is Polaris 10 SMU. Yep, found the firmware. Display core initialized on DCE 11.2. UVD and UVD encoder is enabled. VCE is initialized successfully. AMD GPU. The RGX comes, that's Power VR stuff is loading. The AMD is using Barco for runtime power management. Initialized AMD GPU on miner 2. Okay, so that's all there. The frame buffer devices are good. I see no errors. So this is probably just a Wayland thing at this point. Oh God, what do we have here? Cups, network manager, systemd user, chroot helpers, supplicant, Getty, which is running on, I don't even know. Oh, TTY is 0. So there is a serial console somewhere on this thing. We'll have to go find that later. But it doesn't look like whatever the display manager was started. So CTL list. Oops. Oh, come on. No, not list, sorry. Status. Who is, everything is happy. Okay, great. So, OSDDM, okay. System with Mesa stuff. If it has the patch for faster kernel module loading that happened a while ago, I don't remember which one. 6.18 is relatively old, so it may or it may not. I'm actually going to take a break here for a second because I need to take a break. So I will do that, and I will return in probably 3 minutes or less. Okay, I have returned. All right, next suggestion is try and make another DM compositor and see if it fails. Yeah. That was exactly what I was thinking as well. So let's do this. Sure. No. I'm actually curious, is this like readable on your screen? It's very small, but I'm looking at like scaled windows and scaled windows. I should also try and figure out how to use the change the fonts in the console to make it bigger. I don't remember off the top of my head. So that looks like it is not happy. So it's an STDM thing. Okay, so that's fine. Let's just run Weston. Weston's not installed. Install Weston. What else does that also want? Probably wants foot. Yeah, let's do that as well. Weston foot D menu. Foot suck less tools Weston. Great. Selecting suck less tools instead of D menu. Great. Sounds wonderful. I'll take it. Yeah, it's definitely lit up the other monitor. I mean, it's lit up. There's no cursor on it or anything like that, but it's there. I think there's actually some DRM test tools as well. Sudo apt search DRM. DRM info. That is installed. HDR merge, no. GeoMark, not yet. User space interface. That's just libdrm. Oh, libdrm-tests. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. libdrm-test and drm-info. You're at libdrm tests. Oh, did that wrong. Oh, wrong L. Is it AMD GPU test? That's probably not what we're looking for. Mode test? Not helpful. I'm fairly certain there is a, what's VBL test? Okay. Oh, it's running that vertical blanking test on the AMD GPU, so that's something, I guess. DRM device? Not helpful. Mode print. What's that do? Please add a module name as the first argument. Oh, okay. I thought there was a way to get like a color bars or something, but I don't remember. Connectors, encoders, CRTCs, DisplayPort. Yeah, that's what I expected. Connected HDMI 1, DVI-D 1. What are CRTCs? Yeah, DisplayPort 2 is connected. It's got a size. Looks like it's got the correct things. No, it's okay. KMS test is what I'm looking for. Ah. No KMS test. It'll be something you miss. Yeah, sudo apt search KMS. Don't feel bad. I had to run away for a moment as well, so you're all good. KMS con. KMS cube. There's KMS++ utils. I don't know how I feel about that. KMS cube excites me. I might try running that one here in a second. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, let's try KMS++ utils and KMS cube. This keyboard I'm sitting here typing on is a pretty basic Logitech K120. I used to love these, and now I hate them. I should probably get a better keyboard over here. Let's do... Okay. Oh, it's not okay. It's just KMS++ utils. What do we got? KMS test. Okay. What's that do? Oh. It's something. Okay. White, red, green. Oh, there's some color bars. Okay. Neat. It's only doing that on that display. It's not doing it on the other one. So now I got to figure out how to get it to do something on the other one. How do I end this? Oh, good. Press enter to exit. All right, well, so be it. Can I... Oh, okay. I can say device is AMD GPU. So let's try that. AMD GPU. Okay, so how do I get a list of devices? Since you're gonna be dumb to me. City GPU cameras. Remember for playing connector. Nope. Card 2. Do you like that? No. Device is the path to a DRM card to open. Oh, so dev DRI card 2? Yes, dev DRI card 2. So I've got the stuff coming up just fine. So KMS is working. Again, I don't have the, I didn't use DRM info to get that. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, it's doing DP2, frame buffers at 1024 or 1920 by 1080, XR24. I don't know what XR24 is, but that's fine. Cool, so that's doing what I expect, which is great. All right, so now, what happens if I launch Weston? Ooh. Weston came up on the AMD GPU. And appears to be functioning as expected. Great. Can I get a foot? I can get a foot. Oh, it's so slow. Okay. So Obviously, the reason why it's breaking is because Mesa, which is not at all surprising, but here we are. VK, what is it? VK bench and VK mark? Yeah, VK mark and GL Mark II. No, I don't think I want GL Mark II apt search GL Mark II. Oops. Ugh. This is rough. Oh, here, let me do this, because I can. If I unplug this and I replug this, now you can see what I'm looking at. Voila! And even I can see it even better. So yeah, that keyboard latency is as bad as you think it is. GL Mark II. Is there like a Wayland version? Yes. Okay, so I want that one. GL Mark II, Wayland. Yes. Oh, I should probably also bring in Mesa utils. Ugh. Oh, it's already there. Great. GLX info. Right, because it's okay. Great. VK mark. Yeah. Okay. Great. At least the GL mark on the other GPU. Let me swap this. If I unplug this, and then plug this in. Robust connectors. Theoretically, I will get something. I'm getting nothing, which isn't surprising. Okay, so VK mark exploding here is not surprising to me. Or GL mark, I should say, exploding here is not surprising to me. Can I tell it to use a different card? Probably not. My mouse is all the way over here. Nope. Okay. So yeah, almost certainly the problem is that it doesn't have any of the bits and pieces, which isn't, again, not surprising. It is what it is. Let me quit that. And then I'm going to try and run KMS cube and see what happens. Yeah, okay, that's a KMS cube. What is this? Yeah, render a soft pipe. So absolutely does not know what the hell is happening, which isn't surprising. That is coming out of the AMD GPU, obviously. I had no idea that you could just do this straight with KMS. That's awesome. But this does say that it's using soft pipe. This is actually great stuff for learning what to put into the test farm for VK mark segfaulted immediately. So that's why yeah. Time to compile Mesa. Now, the other thing it could be, Etsy environment. Right. Okay. Unset Mesa loader driver override. That's still using soft pipe. Okay. Did I do that correctly? STL driver, GL, Coggle driver, SAL underscore disable EGL is 1. I have no idea what those are. Trying to make sure that it's not like doing any of the Mesa override stuff. It doesn't look like it is anymore. I kind of want to like turn a bunch of this stuff off. What happens if I run Mustang now? Okay. Is this better or is it still lag fest? It's still lag fest. All right. Well, we've learned things. All right, let me swap stuff back. So just so you can see what I'm seeing on the other display, I need to figure out a better way of doing this, and I currently don't have it, and it's fine. Plug that in there. Plug this in here. Give it a second to sync. Perfect. All right, so if I run KMS Cube on here, you'll notice that it's spitting out and it's saying that it's using render or soft pipe. So that's the, yeah, so it's just, it's because it's got all the patches in it for running Power VR, because it's the screwed up Beza. But hey, something is better than nothing. Do I want to try and fix that right now? I don't know. Search libegl0. Is that what it is? No. EGL0 or is it EGL1? Okay. 24.01 BB5. I don't know if I want to actually like jump down the path of doing this. You could help me, Driver. Yes, I'm sure you could help me recompile Mesa. I think what I'm going to do is, that's not installed. Oh, that's annoying. Give me the NVMe tool. What? Oh, it's NVMe CLI. There it is. Yes, give me that. I think what I'm probably will wind up doing is not necessarily something that I'm going to do tonight. Is what I might do is I might just get since I have this NVMe drive in here, because if I do an NVMe list, hey look, I got a 256 Kioxia in there. So I think what I might do is I might just put the straight non-Beyondbu version of Ubuntu on the NVMe drive, because that won't have any of the binary packages in it. I can still use the vendor kernel. That won't be a problem. And then that will probably work with the AMD GPU correctly. I won't get the onboard GPU stuff working. Well, it'll kind of half work, but it doesn't matter. As long as I don't have a monitor plugged in, it'll be fine. So that might be the next thing to try. I'm not going to do that on the stream this evening because I've already been going for an hour and a half, but I'm very happy with what we've figured out so far. So we know what the PCI-express configuration information is in terms of lane partitioning, which is great. One of the things I did wanted to check quickly was this 8852BE. I want to know if this is in mainline or not for this Wi-Fi card. Not that I really care, but I kind of care. Kernel.org. Let's just browse. Hello, Anubis. Wow, this laptop is so angry right now. All right. Go to drivers. Net. Or are you net? Net. And then wireless. And then Broadcom. This is an 8852. I don't remember if K-config. Oh, it's probably going to be down here. If I 802.11 Broadcom, K-config. Broadcom, PCIe. BCM 8852 BE. Oops. Oh, this is an out-of-tree Wi-Fi card. It's fine. I don't care. I almost never use Wi-Fi. Well, that's annoying. Let me just double check. Yeah, a lot of these things are old, but it does look like. So it definitely wasn't in kernel 6. It might be, yeah, it looks like it's out of tree, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. Boot Arch and or Fedora or that. Yeah. So I could do a Fedora build on here, although the disadvantage of the Fedora build is that I'm not going to have the RVA 23 user space. Probably doesn't matter for the stuff that I want to test, but that actually might be the easiest, is just trying to get that up and running. I'll have to look into it. But yeah, any other questions or things that we want to look at now before I call it an evening? Because I'm going to need to do some more digging and build SD card images and all that fun stuff. And that's just like super, not SD card images, but like get images onto the NVMe, and all that stuff's going to be super boring. So if there's anything else that we want to look at right now, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up, and I will probably do this one or more other nights this week, and we'll see what we can do. But for now, I'm pretty excited that we are as far along as we are, and that the AMD stuff is working. So, and I found that Spacetime finally released the kernel, so I should be able to go do a rebuild and get Z and Nouveau. But more importantly, I have a fast K3 that I can do compiles on, which is the primary thing that I wanted for right now. So cool. I will wrap it up here then. This has been great, everybody. I hope you learned something. I will go put together information to put into the channels and the wiki, and we'll go from there. Signing off. Catch up with you next time.